CeCe completely shocked after knowing the truth. She immediately fell to her knees in front of MC, hit her forehead on the floor, and shouted, "Big brother Qingfeng, no. Daddy Qingfeng, please forgive me." This girl was changing roles faster than pages in a book. She bowed before MC, shaking her waist and pleading, "I was wrong. Please let me go. I will give you my entire lifespan and live as your slave forever." Seeing this behavior made MC feel even more disgusted. Yet she didn't stop. Calling him daddy, she said, "You can abuse me however you want. I will always stay with you and never betray you." But Shadow is Shadow. He is so strict that his heart didn't melt. He felt no pity. In a cold tone without emotions, he asked, "Where are the 5 foreigners who were with you?" But CeCe was too deep into her roleplay. She panted like a dog and said, "Daddy, I'll tell you everything, but can you let me go?" She even stuck her tongue out like a dog while saying it. Qingfeng felt so disgusted that he twisted her neck right there. Yes, twisted, not cut. I've seen many manhwas where villains are killed by the MC, but never such a brutal death. Her head literally turned onto her back. MC then pulled her phone out and muttered that those 5 people weren't here. The moment he picked up the phone, a notification popped up saying he gained 659 years of tradable lifespan just from killing her. If he had used the flower curse, he would have gained even more. But he didn't use it because that would have erased her body. And he still had some use for her body. Shadow held the phone seriously and said, "How shameful. I was hoping to capture all of them together and finish them off. But maybe those 5 are lucky today. First, I'll use CeCe phone to call the officials here." Then the scene shifted. Under the moonlit night, MC boat was still sailing among the waves. Suddenly, several government boats cut through the waves, heading straight toward MC boat. Inside one of the boats, someone shouted, "We got reports of a massacre on this boat." Among the dead was the daughter of the Kwang Group's chairman. According to our informant, the skills used by the culprit resemble shadow skills. Basically, we've already identified the culprit. The search team has been dispatched. In this search team was that fool again. He was still worrying about his CeCe, remembering her, and angrily shouted, "Shadow is completely lawless. Lawless means someone who doesn't follow the law. Yes, someone who openly challenges the nation's law. This guy barges into people's homes and kills them. He's challenging the entire country's system." Now Shadow ship was surrounded by 5 government boats. The fool yelled, "As soon as we board the ship, I'll use my search skill on a corpse to lock Shadow's position. The moment I lock it, open fire with all your guns. Make sure Shadow dies." He was even crying inside. "CeCe, I'll revenge you." But nothing went as planned. There weren't corpses everywhere, only one body lying there. CeCe. 2 officials performed a preliminary autopsy. One said, "Cause of death is neck twisted." The other said, "We found unidentified DNA inside her oral cavity." Hearing that, the fool went speechless for a moment, then screamed, "Darn you, Shadow! Not only did you slaughter people, you even assaulted the dead." He fell on his knees, placed his hand on CeCe's chest, and swore, "I, Tian Xiangyang, swear I'll get you justice." He activated a skill called Last Words of the Dead. Touching a corpse reveals its killer's location for 5 minutes. It was a powerful skill, and it worked. He locked Shadow's position, pulled out his gun, and shouted, "Everyone be alert. Shadow is right there. 6 o'clock, full direct." But before he could fire, a poison dart flew and pierced through his hand and straight out of his mouth. Everyone froze, horrified. Next moment, his body fell dead beside CeCe. Both of their heads were smashed. People kept calling Captain Tian, but the dead don't answer. Furious, the other officials pulled out their guns and fired in one direction. This time they activated group shields to block poison darts. A white-haired girl shouted while firing, "Shadow, you killed an investigator. Do you want enmity with the government?" They emptied their magazines in one direction, but while reloading, MC shouted, "Calm down. No need to panic. I killed Tian because he was leaking government secrets to CeCe for benefits. He was a spy, and the evidence is on his phone. Check it." Later, a cop confirmed it. Captain Lin, both CeCe and Captain Tian phones have records of their communication. And we also confirmed that in the game, the guild leader of Spade was CeCe herself. Captain Lin was shocked. She shouted to show her. The cop hesitated, but she grabbed the phone herself and scolded him. "What are you waiting for? Is there something I'm not allowed to see?" She checked the evidence herself, and what she saw left her blushing like a tomato, gasping, trembling, asking, "What is this?" The guard said, "I told you to wait." Anyone seeing her staring at the phone like that would remember the saying, "Once a lion tastes blood." But she wasn't thinking anything dirty. She was calculating about Shadow. She thought everything Shadow said was true. Last time in the game, Shadow killed us only as a performance for CeCe. He gained her trust, tracked her down in real life, and killed her, solving 2 big government problems at once. Her partner teased, "What happened? Are you addicted after seeing that?" But she was only thinking how terrifying Shadow was. Luckily, he isn't our enemy. Otherwise, I can't imagine what would happen. Still, I did shoot at him just now. I don't care if he holds a grudge against me, but if it ruins his relationship with the government, that would be a huge problem. She pulled out her gun, said, "Thank you for your help, Shadow, and I apologize for firing at you." Without hesitation, she pointed the gun at her own leg and shot. The bullet pierced through, but she didn't even cry out. Tears welled in her eyes as she looked at Shadow and said, "Now we're even. Please continue your cooperation with the government." Her comrades rushed toward her, but she stopped them with a hand gesture. A cop asked if this was really necessary. In her trembling voice, she said, "We don't know Shadow's true personality. Whatever it may be, at least now we're on the safe side." Meanwhile, Shadow was watching everything from the rooftop in stealth. He thought, in-game. Her name is Wen Yu. In real life, it's Lin Kuang. We'll call her Lin. She really shot herself just so she wouldn't become my enemy. Exactly as expected from the future leader of the Magic City officials. In my past life, she was the leader here. Someone who wouldn't hesitate to risk her life to protect her people. Then the scene shifted back to God-forsaken game, to the Forsaken continent. A team was fighting a flower demon. Their leader's health dropped and he shouted, "Xiao, heal me quickly." MC's sister, Xiao, confidently replied, "Okay," and used her healing skill. Their team had only 2 people left, so there was no chance to miss. She cast her heal toward her captain, but instead the heal hit the flower demon boss, healing it instead. The captain roared from the demon's mouth, "You missed again! You're useless!" Furious, the boss attacked, striking through the captain and piercing straight through Xiao as well. Once again back to respawn point. Long faces, gloomy expressions, and Xiao endless excuses. This time she cried, "Oh no, I died again. But I didn't see anyone near me, it must be Shadow. Why is he targeting only me? Does he know I want revenge for Brother Songfei?" The captain slapped her hard, shouting, "Fool! Shadow doesn't have time to waste on you. The one who killed us was the platinum boss, headless assassin Cher. He said it was her missed heal that triggered the boss's aggro. If the guild leader dares to put her in my team again, I'll kill myself." Holding her head in pain, she cried, "It hurts." But suddenly something strange happened. As they came out near a statue, the same platinum boss that killed them earlier had followed them right to the respawn point. The headless assassin stood before them. She cried, terrified, but her captain had already fled. He shouted, "Oh no, it actually followed us. Run!" Scene shift. It was night, and we were shown a shining house with lights still on. From inside came sounds of things breaking. Indeed, inside, bowls full of food were being smashed. Inside was a red-haired angry woman shouting into the phone, "You useless loser! This was a perfect opportunity to kill Shadow, and even after being a high government official, you're giving up like this? For years you've hidden your identity inside the government, and now at such a critical moment you've turned out to be this useless? I don't want to hear excuses." He wiped out the entire Dongfeng family. The blood of the Dongfeng family cannot be spilled for nothing. I don't care what method you use, Shadow must pay with his blood. Even your own father-in-law died at his hands, yet you hesitate? At that moment, a little boy with small hands walked forward carrying a large blood-soaked whip. He was no monster, but a real human child. Just moments ago, this boy had beaten a girl to death with that whip. The boy looked at his mother and said, "Mom, I have a plan to kill Shadow." His voice was sweet and melodic, like a child singing a beautiful song. Only the lyrics were deadly and demonic. His mother lowered the phone from her ear and asked, "Nellian, what's your plan?" Remember, only adults above 18 can enter the God-forsaken game. You can't enter yet. The boy smiled with a deadly look. Even if I can't enter the game right now, I can still use my brain, right? Shadow enjoys killing people, doesn't he? We'll send some people to anger him. Then we'll trap them inside the dead fireworks factory, where everything will already be prepared. The moment Shadow comes to kill anyone there, we'll detonate the entire factory. Thousands of fireworks will become Shadow funeral pyre, and the whole world will witness his death. Even if the mission fails, Shadow will never be able to trace it back to us. Hearing this, his mother smiled proudly. It looks like the values I raised you with have truly borne fruit. She then turned back to the phone. Did you hear that, Chu? My son is more useful than you. From the other side came a voice. Fine, but remember this must remain completely secret. The government's main goal is to recruit Shadow. My eldest and second brother will never agree to this plan. The woman agreed. All right, I understand. I'll arrange everything immediately. Then she cut the call. Looking at the dead girl's body nearby, she muttered, Well, did this lowlife still not give away her lifespan? Her son, in his innocent voice, replied, I'm sorry, Mama. Then with a smile, he laughed lightly. I couldn't stop myself and I accidentally killed her. To him, killing someone seemed like nothing at all. What a twisted child. But the real twisted one here is the writer of this series, who keeps introducing such villains. By the way, have you subscribed to my channel? The scene changes again. Inside the godforsaken game, we are shown the ruins of Magic City. Magic City, also called CeCe Magic City. Suddenly, someone moves at lightning speed and begins slaughtering everyone, including the MC's sister. All the players die and their lifespans are absorbed. From a distance, some others were watching this massacre. They whispered among themselves, Did you see that? A bunch of people were instantly killed. Someone in stealth must have done it. That must be Shadow. But just then, the same figure flashed forward at lightning speed, slicing through their bodies too. Terrified, the survivors screamed, Run! Run! Shadow has gone insane! Shadow continued moving forward, killing even innocent bystanders along the way. Then the scene shifted back to Shadow in real life, whistling while walking across the sea. He stopped at one spot and said, This isn't such a bad place. I'll extract my hideout here. A notification appeared before him. Do you want to consume 1335.2 years of tradable lifespan to extract your soul-closing land hideout into reality? That amount was enormous. This was clearly Shadow's most expensive item. Another notification followed. Your hideout is an underground structure. Please mark its exact location on the map. We were then shown beneath Shadow feet, where a massive castle-like structure lay hidden underwater. Another message appeared. Once extracted, any matter overlapping with the hideout's location will be annihilated. Do you still confirm? Without hesitation, Shadow confirmed. Immediately, the sea began swirling, forming a giant whirlpool. Waves rose high, and in an instant, the hideout started emerging from beneath the ocean. It was so enormous that it occupied half the sea alone, and this was only the tip of the iceberg. The rest of it remained underground. A notification confirmed, extraction complete. Yet there was no smile on Shadow's face, because he had already set his next goal. Now it's time to obtain the Divine Book of Ordination. He then teleported into the god-forsaken game. Right away, messages from Wang Ming appeared. Boss, someone reported you for randomly killing players. Shadow was confused. But Wang Ming continued. When I checked your player ID, I saw you weren't even online. So I knew it wasn't you. I investigated and found out the one attacking players is a platinum-tier assassin boss. His name is Saruo. His stealth is so high that no one can sense him. Boss, please, can you deal with him? The scene shifted to the assassin boss's area, where many players were still being slaughtered. From behind, a swordsman muttered angrily, What kind of broken boss is this? My anti-stealth skill is level 3, yet I can't detect him at all. If only I could see him, I'd kill him myself. Even Shadow can't beat him. He was bitter because last time, Shadow had stolen his Steel Saint kill. The green-haired girl beside him whispered, Keep your voice down, or you'll attract the boss's aggro. They quietly moved forward. The girl suggested, Let's climb somewhere high so we can watch everything. But as they moved, the swordsman's foot landed on a banana peel, making noise. He panicked, realizing he'd alerted something, and quickly rolled back. Suddenly, an attack wiped out his entire team in one strike. Only the Soundmaster survived by rolling away at the last second. He shouted, Holy shit! Who threw a banana peel here? Looking around, he thought of his fallen teammates, muttering their names in grief. But then, like a zombie, the assassin boss slowly advanced toward him. The Soundmaster rolled aside to dodge and shouted, Demon! He readied his powers, preparing for battle. The assassin charged, powering up for a deadly strike. The Soundmaster rolled again to evade, but when he steadied himself, he realized the assassin hadn't attacked. She simply stood with her hand raised. He muttered, Damn it, I rolled too early. The assassin raised her leg again to attack, so he rolled away once more, carefully watching this time. Still, she didn't attack. Confused, he thought, why hasn't she struck yet? He kept rolling around her, but soon dizziness overcame him. No, I've reached my rolling limit, he groaned. Meanwhile, the assassin glitched strangely, her figure flickering. He stopped in confusion, wondering if she had vanished. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared above him. Dizzy, he muttered, I'm seeing stars. In that instant, the assassin broke her stealth and attacked with boosted power. He couldn't resist and was killed in a single strike. But right after that, another figure appeared from behind the assassin. Copying her move, MC unleashed his true stealth-breaking strike. Where the assassin's damage ranged between 3,000 to 4,000, Shadow's strike landed a massive 28,560 damage. This alone showed the immense power gap between them. Driving his blade into the assassin, Shadow said, Oh, so you're the one they call Saruo. But if you're really this strong, then you shouldn't have died in just one strike. The chaos in this city, it couldn't have been caused by you alone. Scene shift to a few minutes before Shadow arrival. The city was silent, so quiet that even the sound of the wind was clear. Then the scene showed one corner of the city where everyone was pointing at Xiao and shouting. She was the girl who had mistakenly used her skill on the boss, which activated the headless assassin. That boss had locked onto her as its target and chased her all the way to the resurrection point. Hearing this, Xiao cried in a trembling voice saying she hadn't done it on purpose. But everyone was irritated and told their guild leader that their party couldn't afford to keep such a girl with them. Others agreed, saying if they kept her, they wouldn't even know when they'd get killed. The guild leader told them to keep their voices down or they might attract the boss. Then, folding his arms, he arrogantly told Xiao that she wasn't fit for combat. From now on, her job would be to gather information about hideouts. If she found a gold-tier hideout, he would reward her with 3 years of tradable lifespan. If she found a platinum tier one, she would get 10 years. He thought to himself that when he first saw her with a hidden class, he believed she was a gem, but now she was nothing but coal. Then he told her from now on he would only give her 1 day of tradable lifespan, daily. Otherwise, her repeated deaths would be too costly. Xiao didn't argue and simply said, "Thank you, Guildmaster." Just then, she received a notification that she had gained 2 days of tradable lifespan, leaving her with only 2 days, 13 hours, and 32 minutes in total. What a pitiful life she was living. Nearby, the jealous girls of her guild looked at her and complained that she got away too easily and had chances to see the guild leader every day. One of them said now she understood that this must be Xiao's strategy. Another cursed and suggested they repeat what they did to her last time, and the others agreed. But suddenly, they saw a wave of lifespan energy behind them and heard a shadowy voice saying, "So you are the one they call Xiao." In shock, they turned to look, and Xiao was already dissolving into lifespan energy because Shadow had killed her. They saw Shadow absorbing her lifespan, and the sight terrified the knights present. They immediately dropped to their knees in fear, because last time Shadow had wiped out their entire guild alone. And now, the same assassin that had destroyed the whole city was slain by Shadow single-handedly. Their guild leader was left dumbfounded, his mouth and eyes wide open. He slapped one of his subordinates, demanding an explanation, but even they knew nothing. At that moment, space around Xiao began to warp. Everyone was stunned, even Xiao herself. She couldn't control her body or powers and was terrified, wondering what was happening. People whispered that it might be some kind of curse. Sensing danger, her guild leader kicked her into the sky to get rid of her. She screamed, but no one cared. Instead, her guildmates applauded their leader. But her desperate scream reached Shadow's ears. Looking up, he saw her flying. Thanks to his high-level anti-stealth, he saw not just her, but 4 platinum-level bosses lifting her in the sky. Shadow immediately realized they were the real cause of the city destruction. With their invisibility broken by his anti-stealth, everyone else could see them too. Solinter and his entire team watched from the respawn point, shocked to see 4 bosses at once, especially since Shadow had already killed a 5th one instantly. Solinter exclaimed that no wonder it had felt like the boss was everywhere. When Xiao looked down and saw Shadow, hope filled her eyes. In desperation, she screamed with excitement. "It's Shadow! I'll be saved!" She reached her hand out toward him, calling repeatedly, "Lord Shadow, Brother Shadow, please save me!" But hearing her call him brother triggered a burning rage inside Shadow, as if a bomb had been set off. Fire blazed in his eyes as fury consumed him. He activated Instant Shadow Slash and as all four assassins and Xiao fell together in a line, his slash struck through them in one strike, cutting them and Xiao into pieces. Even after that, his anger didn't subside. Then a notification appeared. He had killed the headless assistant and Xiao, gaining 48,000 experience points, 20 evolution points, and 1,520 days of tradable lifespan. He mocked her fate, saying it was just her bad luck. Seeing the massive loot beside him, he activated his greedy hand skill. He noted that aside from the 1,520 tradable lifespan days dropped by the boss, there were many lifespan orbs lying around. These must be the non-tradable lifespans absorbed from other players that the boss hadn't digested yet. Just then, Wang Ming appeared with Anu. She called out to Shadow, asking him to sell them whatever he didn't want. Shadow thought to himself how perfectly timed they always appeared, almost as if it was planned. Then he told them they had arrived at the perfect time, because he was going to a place filled with even more treasures. If they paid well, he could take them there too. They eagerly agreed. But when Anu asked to join, Shadow stopped her. Pointing at Wang Ming, he said women couldn't come with him. She pouted innocently and accused him of discriminating, then teasingly lowered her clothes, saying she had planned to seduce him but didn't expect he preferred men. Shadow smacked her on the head with his fingers, asking what nonsense she was thinking. He then explained that outside the Northern Gate ruins was a divine tower authority. Completing its challenges could yield great rewards, but the NPCs inside hated women. If there was even one woman in the team, the difficulty would increase tenfold. Hearing this, Anu cursed those NPCs in anger and stormed away, vowing that once she became stronger, she would slaughter them all. She took Little Black along to scout the mountains ahead and vent her anger by killing mobs. The other girls said goodbye, while Shadow turned and told the rest to follow him. Then Wang Ming and the others received a notification that Shadow had sent them a team request. Excited, they all accepted. The Swordmaster nervously admitted he was anxious to team with Lord Shadow for the first time, but Wang Ming told him this was their chance to learn from Shadow's skills. Later, the scene showed Shadow walking calmly, but his figure seemed blurred. Wang Ming and the others were running hard to keep up, yet still couldn't. Gasping, they wondered aloud why Shadow seemed to move so slowly, yet they couldn't catch up. Swordmaster sighed, asking how they could learn like this. Wang Ming explained that Shadow's agility was just far too high. Meanwhile, Shadow was checking the loot dropped by the platinum bosses. There were over 20 items, but only 2 were useful to assassins. The first was a Jade-grade assassin weapon, Palebone Blade, which boosted attack power by 388, armor penetration by 125, strength by 39, and agility by 48, requiring level 15. It also had a unique effect. When activated, movement speed doubled, and during that time, dodge rate increased by 30%. Shadow tested its power and noted it was 80% stronger than his current Plague Blade, and it added piercing, strength, and agility. Not bad, so he equipped it. The second was a platinum tier skill called Shadow Blade, which let him throw a condensed dark element blade to deal damage within 20 meters, causing an additional 600 damage and dispelling 1 random buff of platinum grade or lower. Its cooldown was 12 seconds, but only 7 for him. Shadow thought its damage was low, but the buff dispel effect wasn't bad, so he decided to evolve it to legendary grade, consuming 56 evolution points and leaving him with 219. The skill advanced through platinum, emerald, diamond, and epic stages until it became legendary. Its damage increased from 600 to 800, 1200, and finally 1500. Now it could dispel even a legendary or lower buff with a 12 to 7 second cooldown, but only 3 seconds for him. As a special effect, if he hit an enemy's weak point, the cooldown instantly reset. Excited, Shadow realized that effectively his skill cooldown was just 0.78 seconds. But then he sensed something wrong. He turned back and saw no one. The area was silent. No footsteps, no movement. Confused, he called out for Wang Ming. The scene then shifted 2 kilometers behind him near a residential complex, where Wang Ming team lay exhausted. The Swordmaster was drenched in sweat, saying Shadow was impossibly fast and no one could keep up. One of their teammates collapsed, saying he couldn't go any further. Their captain grabbed him and dragged him forward, encouraging the team to push on, saying Shadow must have stopped and they would reach him soon. Shift scene to a huge tower surrounded by thick fog. This is where the MC has come to complete his mission. Looking at the tower, he says they have reached their destination. Once they go inside, an NPC will give them a challenge. This NPC is very cunning. If powerful players come before him, he secretly increases the prices of all items sky high. And if the prices go too high, they will never be able to get good items. That's why the MC says he will only use 1% of his power. The rest of the team will have to give their best to defeat a gold grade boss. As he was explaining this and turned around, he was shocked speechless. Wang Ming and his team already looked half dead, drenched in sweat. Wang Ming, struggling, gave a thumbs up and said, "Boss, don't worry. We give you 100% guarantee. We will definitely complete this mission." He barely managed to say that line, while the rest of his teammates just nodded weakly. Their enthusiasm was already gone before even starting. The MC encouraged them, telling them that after completing the challenge, they could buy amazing items from the NPC. He assured them they would not be disappointed, but he reminded them to always use their team communication channel if they needed to talk, so the NPC couldn't overhear their discussions. Then Shadow moved forward and opened the challenge tower gate. Soon everyone entered. In front of them, a skeleton lich-like spirit floated in the air. It said, "Welcome, welcome, my friends from Blue Star." Laughing, it added, "I guess this god-forsaken game event has scared you all a lot, hasn't it? This is the Tower of Divine Authority. You must complete the challenge I give you. If you succeed, you'll get the chance to trade with me. Prepare yourselves and tell me once you're ready." One teammate said, "So there really are NPCs in this game after all." Another nervously asked Shadow what kind of boss they would face. Shadow simply told them to follow his commands during the fight, that the boss would be simple. But the Swordmaster pressed for more details, asking how long the battle would last, how many phases the boss had, what kind of skills it used, whether it was mechanical or stats-based, if it had instant kill skills, movement skills, targeting skills, or weak points. The MC thought to himself how surprising it was that this guy still had energy to talk so much even after all that running. Then Wang Ming, already thin and exhausted, explained, "Boss, don't take his words too seriously. His name is steady as old dog. He's cautious like an old hound. During a mission, an accident happened and 2 of his teammates died. Since then, he has become extremely cautious about everything." Meanwhile, the cautious man kept shouting more questions about cooldowns and abilities, but the MC stepped forward and declared they were ready, telling the NPC to begin the challenge. The cautious man shouted, No, wait, I'm not ready." But once confirmation was given, the NPC bowed and said, "Very well, let's begin." Then he used his magic, summoning a whirlpool of dark power beneath him. From within it, a purple monster started forming. The next moment, a monster popped out. Its torso was split down the middle, divided into 2 parts from head to navel. A notification appeared. It was a gold-grade monster, Obsidian Skullcracker Golem, level 20. The cautious old dog panicked, saying their highest level was only 11. But the MC calmly said, "Everything's fine. Wang Ming, go." Wang Ming responded, raised his shield, and charged forward at full speed, slamming it into the monster. Blood gushed from the monster and it screamed in pain. Roaring, it countered by smashing Wang Ming's shield, sending him flying back. But the MC rushed in to save him midair. The teammates shouted, "Lord Shadow, Wang Ming!" But Wang Ming reassured them, telling the archer to use Starglow Shot and the swordsman to use 3-stage landing slash. The archer agreed immediately, circling the monster with his agility and firing arrows. The swordmaster followed, striking with his skill, and the monster's already cut mouth tore even wider. It roared furiously and slammed both fists on the ground, releasing a powerful aura. The swordmaster was closest and nearly consumed by the darkness, but the MC quickly realized what was happening and shouted, "It's enraged! It's going berserk! I'll handle it! You all dodge! Don't let that black oil touch you!" The monster was spilling black oil everywhere as the archer and swordmaster barely escaped, shouting how close it was. Then Shadow used his new skill, Shadow Blade, forming a dark dagger in his hand. He launched it straight at the monster's head, striking its weak point. It caused only 4,500 damage, but still the monster screamed in a disturbingly human-like voice. Because of the unique effect of Shadow skill, the monster's berserker buff was dispelled, leaving it weakened. Wang Ming's teammates wondered aloud if Lord Shadow had unequipped all his gear, since the damage didn't match his stats. The swordmaster said Lord Shadow must be a great actor, making the NPC think he was just a noob by hiding in the corner. Then the archer asked Shadow how he knew the NPC increased item prices against strong players. Without hesitation, the MC replied that the god-forsaken game was full of secrets and hidden information in ruins. He asked them if they had explored enough and grown their knowledge base. His confident answer left everyone speechless and silent. Meanwhile, the monster roared again, forming a huge fireball in its mouth. Fire spun in circles inside it. The MC shouted loudly, "Everyone be careful, the boss is about to release fire breath. It will spin clockwise around the area. Dodge it, don't let the black oil touch you, and the fireball will burn you to ashes in just 3 seconds. Avoid it at all costs." Everyone ran desperately. The old dog ran in the wrong direction, so Wang Ming shouted to him, "Hey, this way! The fireball's coming from there! You're running the wrong way!" Seeing this, the MC shouted urgently, "No time to dodge! Wang Ming, use your invincibility skill and block with your shield." Wang Ming instantly understood, activated his skill, and leapt in front of the swordmaster, shielding him successfully. The MC praised him. "Very good. As soon as the flames end, use your highest damage skills and finish it off." When the flames died out, Wang Ming, the archer, and the swordmaster charged together, unleashing their strongest skills in perfect coordination. They struck the monster endlessly, giving it no chance to react. In the next moment, it was killed. A notification appeared. Obsidian Skullcracker defeated. The team erupted in joy. On the stage, the word "congratulations" appeared in big letters. The MC thought to himself that the hardest part about this boss was that it entered Berserk mode after losing 70% of its HP. But once the Berserk state was cancelled, its strength dropped to the level of a silver-grade monster. Just then, the lich-like NPC absorbed all the surrounding energy and laughed loudly like a ghost. "Congratulations, players of Blue Star! You are the first to pass my trial." With a wave of his hand, he opened many books of his system and said, "And now, as long as you can give me your lifespan, you can buy anything here. You can even buy the Book of Divine Ordination." The only requirement was lifespan. Then NPC raised his hands and pushed all the books toward them, and it was shown above him that his name is Warlock Weekly. Seeing this, the swordmaster standing below said, "Look, the NPC's name is visible. His name is Warlock Weekly, and he actually has 6 fingers." Hearing this, the warlock snapped. He created some kind of laser in his eyes and blasted an electric current straight at the swordmaster, hitting him with 999 damage, killing him instantly. His body turned into lifespan. Wang Ming shouted his name, "Old Dog." Why did this NPC suddenly attack like that? Here, Old Dog is the name Wang Ming uses for this swordmaster. His real name is Study as Old Dog, meaning cautious like an old dog. MC then said, "This so-called cautious old dog isn't actually that cautious. No need to worry. Players and NPCs cannot attack each other unless players themselves violate their taboos. This NPC's taboo is related to his fingers. As long as you don't talk about them, you'll be safe." After killing one person, the NPC closed his laser-like eyes and only stared at the group. Wang Ming hesitated and asked, "Expert Shadow, can you beat him?" MC looked straight and replied, "No, not right now." It was then explained that in fact all these NPCs who appear here are beings from other times and spaces, extremely powerful, who have attained divinity. They are bound by ancient rules, which is why when they come to Blue Star, they act as NPCs to collect players' lifespans. Then the NPC said, "You can choose whichever divine book of ordination you want. Trade your lifespan during your time and then leave." When Wang Ming and his team looked toward the shop, they were shocked. They cried out, "Holy shit, what the hell is this?" By trading lifespan, we can actually create supplies here in reality. Any kind of food, water, drinks can be made just by paying lifespan. With these divine books of ordination, even if a disaster happens in the real world, we can still get food and water supplies. Seeing this, both of them were overjoyed. They said, as we expected from Brother Shadow, "The things he has shown us are truly amazing." Wang Ming added, "No joke, Brother Shadow has never let us down." Then suddenly they noticed another divine book of ordination from which a mechanical maid could be summoned. They exclaimed, "Wow, I must buy this." Meanwhile, Shadow ignored them and focused on his own purchase. He consumed 9,000 days of trade lifespan and bought all 9 volumes of Zhanghai City's divine books of ordination. While buying, he thought, "These 9 divine books can completely satisfy all my daily needs." Inside this Tower of Divine Authority, there is also an achievement that grants a lot of reputation points. I must get it, because reputation points will be very useful in the future. Then he looked at the NPC and said, "I want to challenge the tower's highest difficulty alone. Is that allowed?" The NPC replied, "Judging by your current performance, you cannot even complete the first level challenge, and yet you dare to attempt the highest difficulty?" Shadow quickly made an excuse, saying he was just curious to see what the highest difficulty looks like. The NPC then explained, "The tower's difficulty is divided into 5 levels, and the highest is the 5th level. Its boss is still the gold-grade Skullcracker Golem, but its attack, HP, defense, cooldown speed, everything will increase by 500%. Hearing 500%, Wang Ming and his team were shocked. They cried out, 500%! We were already drenched in sweat just dodging its normal skills. How will Boss Shadow even dodge it now? With 5 times the health, defense, attack, and speed, how long will it take to kill? One mistake and we'll be dead. We must move perfectly. Then in a deadly tone, the NPC warned, if you die during the challenge, your dropped lifespan will belong to me. Do you still want to continue? Shadow firmly replied, yes, I'm sure. As soon as he said this, the NPC burst out laughing loudly, generating his power. He said, if you really want to put your lifespan in my hands, I'll gladly accept. This game on Blue Star has just begun, and already players are becoming so arrogant. You're just begging for death. With that, he activated the highest level challenge, and the same gold-grade monster appeared, but now it looked far more powerful as its strength was enhanced 500%. Even its color had turned golden. MC drew his new dagger thinking, weekly can enhance his summoned creatures, and 500% is not even his limit. In my previous life, when I killed him, he had enhanced his creatures by 2,000 times. Still, this is the perfect time to test my new weapon. He instantly used his poison dart, threw it at the monster, and activated stealth to disappear. Because of his dagger, the gift of Black Flame activated, reducing the enemy's defense element by 7%. The monster roared and activated its fire techniques, launching them straight at Shadow. Even though Shadow was in stealth, the flames managed to detect his location. But then the Pale Bone Blade's special effect triggered, doubling Shadow's movement speed for 5 seconds. That was enough. As the attack came near, MC blurred away and vanished. Flames burst from the monster's torn mouth, rushing toward him. But MC suddenly reappeared right beside the monster's face. If you could even call it a face. Without hesitation, MC stabbed his Pale Bone Blade straight into its mouth, triggering another special effect. The monster roared in pain, but before its roar could escape, MC vanished again. Watching this breathtaking fight, Wang Ming and his teammate were shocked. Their mouths hung open as they shouted, he disappeared again. Is Expert Shadow's stealth cooldown so short? Wang Ming yelled. No, Expert is just too fast. Moving so quickly it looks like he vanished. The next second, the monster spread black oil all around, but MC had already appeared beside it. He activated the Gift of Glory's throat slit effect, and with instant Shadow Slash unleashed countless strikes flashing past it. The damage numbers were insane. The screen was filled with weak point damage after weak point damage. Thanks to Shadow skill, more than 70% of any enemy's body counts as a weak point. Shadow, still midair after attacking, looked back at the result and thought, I knew it, the Ancient God Slates buff is incredible, and using it feels even better. If I hadn't increased the level cap of the Gift of Black Flame, each of my Ancient Shadow Slashes would have dealt at most 18,000 damage. Wang Ming and his teammates stared in shock. Wang Ming shouted, 1/3 of its HP is gone in a single strike. Boss Shadow, what kind of skill is that? His teammate cried, this is the first time I've seen Boss Shadow's attack so clearly. It looks like instant Shadow Slash, but that normally has only 3 slashes. Meanwhile, the NPC was judging Shadow silently, thinking, this god-forsaken game just launched on Blue Star. How could anyone become so powerful so quickly? What level of talent is this? Shadow watched the fight with shining eyes, thinking, thanks to my throat slit effect, 200% of my original attack will keep hitting it every second. And it was true. The throat slit effect was overwhelmingly powerful. The monster writhed in unbearable pain, its legs trembling, unable to even move. Damage numbers like 426,600 and beyond flashed on the screen. Obviously, the monster couldn't withstand such damage and was killed in the next moment. Shadow was congratulated for completing the Tower of Divine Authority's highest level challenge, earning 5 reputation points. Completing this achievement also meant he was considered to have cleared the other 4 difficulties as well, so he received 10 more reputation points. Then he calmly descended. The boss had already turned into lifespan. Another notification appeared. Congratulations, you are the first person in this world to clear the Tower of Divine Authority alone. You gain 75 reputation points. This achievement will be announced globally. The announcement spread everywhere. In one city, people were confused. Tower of Divine Authority? What the hell is that? Someone asked, inside the city ruins? Where am I then? I haven't seen such a tower building. A girl, excited, shouted, good heavens, Shadow is still ahead of everyone. Inside the tower, the NPC went mad. He shouted, "Damage, damage, scammer, scammer. You Blue Star people are too cunning. If I had known earlier, I would have charged you 10,000 days of lifespan for every divine book of ordination. No, not 10,000, a full 100,000 days." His body glowed with furious light as he screamed, "Get out! Get out! All of you get out of here! Don't ever show your faces here again!" A blinding light burst behind him, forcing everyone to cover their eyes. Someone cried out, "What is this NPC doing?" Another said, "It's over. We're going to die. He's about to use his ultimate move." The next moment, the NPC raised his hand and light surged toward them from all directions. Seeing it, everyone screamed. But MC quietly stood there with his hand in his pocket. In the very next instant, all of them were teleported away mid-scream. MC knew it was just a teleportation circle. That's why he remained calm. But the others had no idea and were completely confused. One asked, "Is this the outside of the Tower of Divine Authority?" Wang Ming explained, "Yes, we didn't die. We just got teleported outside." MC said, "I told you already. No need to worry. NPCs normally cannot attack players." Then Shadow turned and said, "We've got everything we needed, so let's split up. I'm logging out now. I'm hungry, so I'll eat first in reality." Wang Ming said, "Okay, thank you, boss, for this experience. If there's ever another opportunity like this, please let us know." MC agreed, and they all said goodbye.